Okay, I just wanted to make like a quick video. I really hate talking about stuff like this, honestly, because it's like, why should I get myself all involved in stupid drama? But it would be drama if it wouldn't make you feel something. So, anyways, there's also a question, like, why is it that, like, just in the media and why is it that most men or women choose light-skinned women over dark-skinned women? And you can even say the same thing for women or men choosing men. Like why does it always seem like people who have lighter skin have an easier time being or at least being involved in a relationship with somebody? And I think I have a pretty good idea, or I have a theory, and I think it has to do with the fact that, in the United States, we still have an overwhelming majority of very light-skinned individuals. Now, I said before that most all of us are the same anyway, as far as, racial background is concerned, but you still have a lot of people that look primarily European. And so if you have a high percentage of people who look primarily European, who do you think is going to be making decisions about, who's going to be in the media? It's going to be people, you're going to have like some of the same percentages, if not slightly skewed, but not terribly much so, of in the entertainment. You're going to have mostly, people who favor European ancestry in their genes and elsewhere, as well as the audiences are the same way. And it's not their fault, just like it's not our fault that we have more color in our skin, but we're naturally drawn to people who look like ourselves. That's where attraction comes in. When you find a mate, generally you have similar features to them. Now, my husband is a lot lighter skinned than I am. He looks basically European, but we can have some similar features. We have our contrast between our hair color and our skin color is very similar. He has a slightly stronger bone structure because he's a man, but there's just a lot of things that are the same between me and him, where when you see someone, that whole thing about love at first sight, it may be a myth, but attraction at first sight, yes, it's very real. And it's good because it helps you find somebody that, is going to mesh well, and you're going to have an easier time having children with, because you're genetically closer, not too close, not like, brother and sister, although that can happen too, but, biologically, you want to make sure that the person you're having kids with, like, they're gonna jive with your genes. So, and you're not doing this consciously, not everybody, some people do, but, like my dad, like I said before, he's Hispanic, and he's extremely light. And my husband and my father look very similar. And I never realized it until people brought this to my attention when we were engaged and then when we got married. And it's funny because they go by the same name too, the same first name, which I never even thought about. So when you choose people to be with, some of it goes with, we're all a little narcissistic. We like to see ourselves reflected in another person, and we also like to see our family reflected in the person we choose to spend our time with, or people we choose to spend our time with, because it's like you feel like you know them better, or you have an idea of it's a more predictable situation. Even personality wise, you pick people that are like your family to hang out with if you enjoy being with your family, because it's like you kind of know what's going to happen in certain situations, as opposed to somebody you've never had any kind of experience with. And I think, when we see somebody that has features that we've never seen before, which is very rare these days, because, like, let's say if somebody was albino, not many of us are albino or have albino family members, and so we're shocked when we see someone in real life. How many of us would say, oh, I would definitely be like, I want to date that person, I find them attractive. Now, we may find them attractive despite the fact that, they have no pigment in their skin. I kind of think that, black albinos are very beautiful. But it may have to do with the fact that, like, I'm not super dark myself, and so it's not as big of a leap for me. I'm not like a white person, but I hope you understand what I'm saying. So anyways, I think black men or black women who are choosing lighter mates, it's not because they're saying, well, I don't like darker skinned people, but I think that's what they're seeing the most of. That's what's most represented in the media. That's what most stylists in this nation, they know how to work with that skin tone coloring for makeup. I know when I go to the beauty counter, even I have a hard time with makeup people who are white and they have no idea how to make the makeup look good on my skin, and they make me look ashy and washed out. Same goes with, more Afrocentric hair. You know, you have a much smaller amount of stylists that know how to work with it. So as far as cost and ease, I think it's easier to employ someone that has more European blood in them, because you already have the resources that are there for them, or that are going to work better than somebody who comes in and you don't know how to style their hair, you don't know how to put makeup on them, male or female, and so we just don't see them. Basically, that's what I think it is. I don't think it's much more than that, and I mean, like, I feel bad that people who are underrepresented, they do have a harder time. I think it would be very difficult for me if I went to, like Africa, where there's not as many, mixed people. There's not a whole lot of like mixed people in any large country, but it would be very difficult in Africa, because they would be like, "Whoa, like, what are we gonna do with her?" And if I was a model or something, which I'm not, or if I wanted to be on TV, they're so used to dealing with a certain type of person. So I think until you have more, racial dilution and more people looking more and more like each other, that's what we're going to see. And it doesn't really seem like that's going to happen, but maybe it is, because if darker skinned people get with lighter skinned people, then you get more of a medium, in between. And isn't that what we want? Like, you don't see anybody saying, oh, white people should be with white people unless you think they're crazy, So why should we just have dark-skinned people with dark-skinned people? I don't think it's very, like, I don't think it's like something that you should be like saying, oh, that's what we need to do. I think it's better for us to try to have as much variety as we can.